Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, today I wanted to dive into a really important topic: drugs, the street life, and how these paths often seem to connect to becoming a target of gang stalking. A lot of people don't realize there's a pattern here. When you're involved in the street life or caught up in the world of drugs, you might think it's just about quick money or survival, but in reality, it can make you more vulnerable to surveillance, manipulation, and targeted harassment. We're also going to talk about a famous hip hop musician who was battling his own demons with drugs and eventually became a target of gang stalking. A lot of people look up to these artists and see the fame, the money, and the lifestyle, but they don't always see the pain and the dark side that comes with it. First off, if you've ever been involved with drugs, whether using, selling, or just being around it, you're already on some kind of radar. Law enforcement, snitches, task forces, they keep tabs on you and you become a person of interest. Then there's the addiction part. A lot of us who get clean start speaking up. We become harder to control. We tell the truth about what's really going on, and we become a threat to their system, especially when you've been deep in that life and you know the players. Gang stalking seems to be a way of silencing people, punishing them, or even just keeping them unstable so they don't get back on their feet. So I started to notice a pattern. More and more targets were saying the same thing, from different cities, different walks of life, but the common denominator, many of them had some connection to drugs, either personally or through someone close to them. Now we're going to talk about someone who was a target of gang stalking, and you might know him as the guy who put the satin on your panties, or maybe more famously, the man behind Digital Underground and the Humpty Dance.
Maybe I can say that you don't recognize me. I'm Shock G, the one who put the satin on your panties.
Shock G was more than just a funky character. He was a musical genius, a deep thinker, and someone who saw what was going on behind the scenes. And the more I look into his story, the more I know he was a victim of gang stalking. Let's rewind a bit and talk about who he was. Shock G was born Gregory Jacobs in Brooklyn, New York in 1963. He was a rapper, producer, and the frontman of Digital Underground. But what made him stand out was his alter ego, Humpty Hump, the goofy big-nosed character in sunglasses and fake nose that helped bring a sense of humor back to hip-hop in the late 80s and early 90s.
I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. I'm crazy.
Shock G is the one who gave Tupac Shakur his first big break. That's right, Tupac started as a backup dancer for Digital Underground and eventually got his first verse on a track called Same Song.
Tupac, go ahead and rock this.
Now I clown around when I hang around with the underground. Girls used to frown, say I'm down when I come around. Gas me, and when they pass me, they used to diss me.
Shock G also produced for Tupac, including the hit I Get Around. This man was responsible for shaping one of the greatest voices in hip-hop. He was a true artist, blending funk, humor, and real-life struggles, and like a lot of greats, he battled his demons, drugs, depression, isolation. But toward the end of his life, something changed. He started speaking in code. He started alluding to things, people watching him, people setting him up.
Oh, here comes the pain in the neck and the leg, or here comes some crazy shit. Yeah, they trying to murk me. They've been trying to murk me for 10 years, by the way. I've had people I've gotten in the cab and just seen two people who don't even know me say, yeah, nothing kills them. Wait, but I've had girlfriends where I caught them talking to somebody, nothing kills them. Found out the bitch was putting shit in my fucking food and drinks. You know, I just went back many years, and back to 98, only half of my girlfriends were actual girlfriends. At least 8 of them, the other half of them turn out to be plants.
When we look back at Shock G's final years, it's like looking at a blueprint for how the system tries to erase someone. He was isolated, hopping from hotel to hotel, and the media said he was spiraling, but I believe he was trying to escape. Shock G was trying to avoid the traps. He knew they were watching him. This wasn't just a man dealing with addiction. This was a man who had woken up to the fact that something wasn't right. Shock G wasn't some reckless addict. He was a brilliant soul who made mistakes just like the rest of us. But he tried to grow. He tried to create something beautiful through music, humor, and truth. And I believe that's what made him a target.
Yo, I wanted to say to the Gangstalking movement out there, the street theater crews and all the people that's helping Homeland Security gentrify and so-called cleanse the nation of undesirables. I just wanted to say that they fooling you. Whatever they said about me isn't true, because I'm not a bad person. Just ask someone who really knows me. for a few years, a few or more. They messing with y'all head. They don't care about you. They don't. When they get finished with me, they gonna run the same crap on you. Cause you know too much. You know how the game goes with the CIA and Homeland Security.
In this next video clip, Shock G references being hit with silent weapons. For those who have done enough research into gangstalking, it's clear he's talking about microwave or directed energy weapons. These weapons are designed to be invisible and hard to trace, causing intense pain and discomfort throughout the body. The most common symptoms are burning sensations, muscle cramps, or sudden sharp stings, all common symptoms reported by targeted individuals. This is yet another example of how advanced technology is being misused to harass and break a target down.
You ETs got me stuttering now. They always pointing at me with them silent weapons now. But it doesn't matter, I'm still Shock G. And I will never turn my back on the people. Let's be free.
In this next video clip, Shock is talking about how the government can interfere with your electronics, especially when you're sharing information they don't want the public to know. He's referring to tactics like hacking, signal jamming, or remotely disabling devices, all methods used to intimidate and silence those who speak out. This is a clear warning about how far they're willing to go to control the narrative and keep certain truths hidden from the people.
Different messages keep popping up. Error code such and such and such does not filter, breaks a size limit, anything. And then you take that one book out of it, and then it ends. That's how they tell you don't do that. Or he's on the phone with a guy, yo, I just got the book, man, it's awesome. I think that, ring! And while he's talking to the person who sent the book, ring! Voice control pops up on Siri. That's weird. So the phone keeps hanging up in the middle of the phone call. Unexplained. Hey, I got the book. I was thinking about running this. Voice control. On your Siri. It's like little stuff like that.
In this next clip, Shock G shares a strange and unsettling experience. He says he was just chilling in his buddy's van when his friend asked Siri to sing a certain song. Instead of the usual robotic response, a human voice suddenly came on, delivering a derogatory remark aimed directly at them. This bizarre incident is yet another example of how the government, or those operating behind the scenes, are always watching and listening. It shows how deeply they can manipulate technology to harass, intimidate, or simply remind you that privacy is an illusion.
But he's African American. He's about 30 years old. And let's say it was the Star Spangled Banner. He said, sing the Star Spangled Banner, Siri. Okay, playing Star Spangled Banner. He said, no, Siri, is that correct? No. He said, sing it, you sing it in your voice. Okay, finding Star Spangled Banner by alternate singers. No, Siri. Your voice. He said around the fourth time that he suggested it, a voice came over the phone and went, listen, you piece of shit, nigga, don't ever tell me what the fuck to do. Do you understand that? And it was written. Broke code. Said it was a female voice. You piece of shit, nigga, don't ever tell me what the fuck to do. You understand? He said he put the phone down and went like this.
In this next clip, Shock talks about the right to privacy, something that should be a basic human right but is completely stripped away from us targets. We all know too well that through the Gangstalking program, they make sure we're constantly monitored, harassed, and deprived of any true sense of personal space. Shock makes a reference to them playing the Truman Show game on us, comparing our lives to being stuck inside a scripted, controlled reality where every move is watched and manipulated. Us targeted individuals know exactly what he's talking about because we live it every day. This isn't just surveillance, it's a psychological game designed to break us down and make us feel like we have no escape.
Woo! They just asked Zuckerberg, Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be willing to share the name of the hotel you stayed in last night? He said, no, Senator, I would not be willing to share that. They said, would you be willing to share the names and the list of the people that you Facebook, texted, emailed, or tweeted in the last 24 hours? No, Senator, I would not be willing to share that. And he said, exactly. He said, what we're talking about here is the right to privacy. So y'all keep playing your fucking Shock G, what's the name of that game? What's the name of that game y'all playing? You know what I'm saying. You keep playing that Truman Show with me.
It's unclear why Shock G was really gang-stalked. Was it because of his involvement with drugs, or did he know too much about how the elites and powerful circles operate in Hollywood? Maybe it was a combination of both. One thing is for certain, being involved in the drug scene definitely makes you a target for increased surveillance by law enforcement and other shadowy networks. Once you're on their radar, they can use that as an excuse to monitor, manipulate, and harass you even further. In Shock G's case, it's possible that his creative mind and outspoken nature made him a bigger threat to those who want to keep certain truths hidden. Regardless of that exact reason, his story shows just how easily someone can become a target when they step outside the lines or speak out against the system. Shock G wasn't just talking nonsense. He was dropping breadcrumbs, and people who have been targeted, they know what to look for. Once your eyes are open, you can't unsee it. They target truth tellers because truth is dangerous, and if too many people start waking up, we start connecting the dots, and their whole illusion starts falling apart. But here's what they forget. Truth doesn't die, it multiplies. For every one Shock G, there's 100 people he influenced. For every target they silence, 10 more stand up. The internet has made it so we can't be hidden anymore. Gangstalking isn't just a theory, it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's happening in cities, suburbs, and even rural areas. It's not always the same people behind it, but the tactics are always familiar. Whether it's dirty cops, rogue agencies, corporations, or community watch groups, the goal is the same: silence, control, and destruction. But people are waking up more and more every day. Gregory Edward Jacobs passed away on April 22, 2021. He was found unresponsive in a hotel room in Tampa, Florida. The official cause of death was later ruled an accidental overdose involving a combination of fentanyl, methamphetamine, and alcohol. The ones who've been through this same system of surveillance and psychological targeting, we know better. We know the signs. He was tired, he was worn down, but I don't believe he gave up. I believe the system just wouldn't leave him alone.
Who knows, but Pac wasn't worried about death. He was not scared of death. Neither am I. I might go tonight, I might go tomorrow. I might live another 20 years. God don't bless me, but who knows? But Pac wasn't afraid of death, man. None of us should be. Stand for something, die for nothing.